One of the things we really wanted to focus on for SOCOM 4 was telling a more cinematic narrative.
You've got a problem with authority, and that makes you a wild card. That gets people killed.
Push the storytelling to realms that SOCOM game hasn't yet seen.
You and I are nothing alike.
If we provide an authentic experience, it's going to feel real. It's going to hit you in the gut.
Okay, this is NATO Operations Commander. What's your status?
Having the operations commander be our central character, we're able to tell his personal story and the story of his teammates and how they work together as a squad.
In SOCOM 4, you're in charge of 5 characters. The first character is OpsCom.
Wells is kind of your grizzled veteran. He's seen it all, he's done it all. He's actually Ops Commander's right-hand man.
There's also Schweitzer, and he's kind of the beast on the group. His job is to suppress the enemy.
A little bit later on in the campaign, you'll actually meet Chung and 45.
45 is a special operations soldier from Korea, and her specialty is covert actions. She's very good at close quarters combat.
Let's see if you're as good as you say you are.
I'm better.
The Korean Special Forces actually do have female operatives within their ranks as well, so keeping with that authenticity.
We're here to link up with the 45th Recon Detachment. Where's your commanding officer?
You're looking at it. I'm the only officer left.
The player is the leader of a special forces unit caught in a civil war in South Asia.
Now you can fall in with me, or wait here for help that isn't coming.
Everything goes wrong, and they have to extract themselves, and if they can, complete the mission that they came in to do.
Understood.
We've tried to minimize the on-screen HUD and have more big events throughout the environment, again, to get you feeling like you're really in the field in Southeast Asia and experiencing this SOCOM story.
In order to have a thinking man shooter, you must also have an enemy that thinks. And that's exactly what we provide to the player.
The AI is constantly changing their tactics based on the player's playstyle.
No matter what the player does, the enemy AI will have an answer.
It is so reactive that it actually makes you have to retreat and fall back. And the first time we saw this, I think we were all kind of surprised as developers. Whoa, I actually had to regroup my squad, fall back and reposition them to deal with these enemies coming at me.
It's not enough to simply shoot straight, but to also think smart.
It's all about teamwork and tactics and authenticity.
And that's a key differentiator between our game and maybe something that someone else has to offer.
Zipper Interactive has a great history of really being on the cutting edge when it comes to technology.
SOCOM came out back in 2002, and at the time it was known as the premier online game for the PlayStation 2. And with SOCOM 4, we really wanted to bring the whole complete package to the PlayStation 3.
The exciting thing about making SOCOM 4 for the PS3 is just the power of the system and how we're able to harness that to make the overall game more immersive, starting with the graphics.
You'll see so much more atmosphere and more realistic lighting and lens flares and everything that we weren't really able to do in previous platforms.
We're going to secure the village north of here and then move out.
Are you crazy?
We're focusing a lot more on the single-player experience, and we came up with a whole new cinematic engine, so we're able to tell and render in real time a very compelling story.
Here's his pen. Make sure you stab him with it.
And then it also translates to our advanced AI. We're able to do things with the enemy AI squad tactics that make the game much more dynamic. Depending on if you come in guns blazing or maybe take more of a stealth approach, the enemy is going to change the way they react to you.
SOCOM 4 also has a very robust audio engine. We have proximity chat, so if somebody's behind you and they're talking to a teammate, you'll actually hear the voice from your surround sound speakers behind you. The power of the PlayStation 3 not only allowed us to push the graphics in the game, but also the audio and other areas of it as well. And the gun sounds. I love those gun sounds. So with the Move controller, we're able to very precisely aim at areas on the screen and target enemies, take them out, give your team commands. And it really, is a whole new way of playing a tactical shooter like SOCOM.
Something a lot of people have been asking for is, when can I hold it like a gun? And the Sharpshooter allows you to do that.
You put the Move controller into the Sharpshooter along with the navigation controller, and you hold it like you would hold an assault rifle.
SOCOM 4 has a new type of 3D that Zipper's developed that maintains the full resolution and full performance as you would have if you weren't playing in 3D.
So we really wanted to add these new technologies to make playing the game more intuitive while still keeping to the authenticity and tactical nature of the game.
It's a much more immersive way to play the game, and we've had a lot of fun with it.
Well, we wanted to create a kind of unique and contemporary score for the reimagining of SOCOM. We needed to take a step in a different direction than the standard military action scores.
We're totally avoiding any kind of cliched bash, crash, orchestral action music.
It's certainly my hope and our goal that players will play through this game and never hear the same piece of music twice.
I just am so excited about having Bear as our composer. He has a great way of mixing the ethnic instruments with orchestrated elements.
16 and 17 from there on felt really good.
We liked his work on Battlestar Galactica, and when we first approached him, we found out that he was actually a really avid SOCOM fan. So when we heard that, it was like, wow, this is fantastic. It was kind of like a perfect marriage, really.
It was exciting to get called because they were responding to all of the things in my Battlestar score that were the most unusual and the most outside the norm. And so I knew right away that they wanted something unique.
Oracle, we need support over here. Air support.
Commander, well, we still have top capabilities. Several fighters on deck.
What about intel, satellite, extraction?
Let me see.
One of the great thrills of working on SOCOM is getting to work here at the Skywalker Ranch. Getting to come to this idyllic location and make music is a really extraordinary opportunity, and it's made the experience of working on SOCOM 4 even more memorable for me. Musically and narratively, I feel like the franchise is branching out into new areas. They wanted to emphasize the local environment. So this meant bringing in a lot of Southeast Asian sounds, which we do not associate with the kind of action-adventure scoring that you're used to hearing.
One of the really exciting things about Bear's approach to music creation is his boldness when it comes to assembling and pulling together instruments from not only different parts of the world, but different musical genres.
We thought it would be really interesting to try and merge the Eastern Orchestra and the Western Orchestra. So when the armies collide, so do the orchestras.
We needed the blend. And we also wanted to define a sound that for us was different and new.
There's a whole array of world wind instruments and string instruments.
We recorded a Javanese gamelan ensemble.
The bansuri, the shakuhachi, several Chinese membrane flutes.
Japanese taiko.
There's a lot of variety. There's tons of amazing instrumentation, but you have that solid foundation and that base of just well-scored moments.
It's going to make the product feel very electric and very driving, but also very intimate, and it'll draw you into the story just the way that any great film score should.
For fans of the franchise, it's going to be everything they loved about the previous games and a heightened experience that will take it to a whole new level.
Hi, I'm Ken Inagaki. I'm a senior staff producer here at Sony. I'm here to show the Sharpshooter peripheral with the Move controller today for SOCOM 4. This is the first time that this is actually being featured as part of this game as an additional peripheral. The gun peripheral was actually designed in conjunction from Guerrilla Games as well as Zipper Interactive. They had both actually incorporated the peripheral into their game in such a way that it actually allows for an additional level of immersion and realism. All right, so let me walk through the various button functions on the device itself and how it relates to our game. We have the digital trigger, and with the various fire modes, the single fire, the automatic fire, and then the grenade launcher. We also have the stance change, and we have change of weapon that you can also reach from the other side for left-handed users. This lock switch here is actually for the move button right here, and the move button in our game actually functions as throwing grenades. You can actually lock this button out so that you don't press it by accident. When you're down on bullets, just by doing the pump action here on the device, we'll actually command a reload. Underneath the device, there's a reload button. In our game, we happen to use this when you are out of weapons cache and need to reload on weapons, on grenades and such. When you're in a snipe mode, if you hold down the L1 button, which is right here, with your left hand or right hand, it'll allow you to go into a zoomed mode. And then by holding down the L3 button, which is the analog stick, it will take you into that further additional level of zoom. When you walk up to enemies in stealth behind them, you can actually push forward for melee style attacks or stealth kills.
Thanks a lot, Ken, for showing us how SOCOM 4 is going to be working with the PlayStation Move and the Sharpshooter. SOCOM 4 out April 19th. So I think we've seen now PlayStation Move, fun games, party games, family games, and now in 2011, hardcore games. So something for everyone.